Several Hollywood studios had horrific, historic failures at the box office this year, but none were greater than that of Disney. Everything sans one, maybe two outings. One for sure. One actually turned a profit. The other one, well, you know, if you just carry the one, just bring over the five, to some creative accounting. Other than that, it was still, slice that pie however you want. It's still a disaster. And now that it's getting towards the end of the year, everybody is writing up their year-end articles and dancing on the grave of the House of the Mouse. Inside Disney's disastrous year of box office flops. Because we know already, and about the halfway point throughout the year, we knew that Disney was already in the hole for $1 billion, and they were going, come on, Marvels, try to pull themselves out of a slump. But you can already see, you can already tell where we're going to be going with that first picture right there. You remember Indiana Jones came out this year? Disney hopes that you don't. Disney has revealed that it has spent $965 million on 1, 2, 3, 4 of its most high-profile streaming and film flops this year. That's crazy. Only 4 of them. Disney has been on a cost-cutting drive since its chief executive, Bob Iger, returned to the helm of the company in November of last year. Yeah, well, so have their customers as well been on a gigantic cost-cutting effort, because they ain't coming to your shows, buddy. 3 months later, he told investors that the studio needs to reduce the cost on everything that we make, because we're extremely proud of what's on the screen. It's gotten to a point where it's extraordinarily expensive. You're not proud of it. You're not proud of it because it's not making money. Obviously, was the first thing. The first thing that came out in 2023, Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantumania. Disaster. Huge disaster. The first sign that, Marvel, the audience is finally catching up on your poor outings. Okay, they stomached Wakanda forever, but as soon as Ant-Man came along, yeah, they just decided, you know what, I'm not spending 2023 wasting any more of my money on Marvel outings. Go ahead and shape up, otherwise we're going to continue to ship out. And then the Little Mermaid washed up on the shores, and it's left a question with the audience. If she spends that much time underwater, why is her face so dirt? Oh no, wait, that's what she's supposed to look like. Everybody was wondered, and it's like, that's not Ariel. What am I doing going to the theater for this? And, well, guess what? Nobody did. Cost the studio $265 million, compounded with the $193 million that Ant-Man cost. And then, of course, in the summer, $295. We'll just round it up for fun. For Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. What in the blue hell is going on? And something that I'll be touching on a little bit later in the week was Secret Invasion, one of the most high-profile disasters when it comes to streaming for Disney. Ended up, with a budget of $211 million for 8 episodes? For 8 forgettable episodes. The people that reviewed Secret Invasion can't even remember Secret Invasion outside of little Emilia Clarke, okay, the old franchise killer. I'm sure she's a nice person. She's a horrific actress, and why she continues to get work, I have no idea. She killed off Game of Thrones, killed off Terminator, and now she killed off the MCU. Congratulations, you and that Drax arm. You really can't. You really are magic, huh? No Miri Mazdul. Stop killing your kid and making your husband a vegetable, okay? Also imbued you with the ability to just become Hollywood's Dr. Kevorkian. It's crazy. It's crazy the powers that you got way back in 2011. But yes, there are also a ton. I just wanted to focus on the cinematic side of this, of a Disney Plus streaming content that cost exorbitant amounts of money. Lucasfilm had a few streaming projects, and Disney proper, oh my god, Wendy and Peter Pan came out this year, and it cost north of $100 and some odd million. But we'll total all that up, because you can basically just write all of that stuff off, because did any of it drive any subscribers to the platform? No, they've been hemorrhaging subscribers throughout the entire year. They tried valiantly to boost their numbers by running this $1.99% promotion. Oh, you're gonna sign up to Disney Plus for $1.99. You'll get yourself 3 months. You know how much that netted them? You know how many subscribers they gained off of that? 4 million. 4 million subscribers off of that. Do you think that that's enough? Do you think $8 million is enough to offset The $211 million? Yeah, I don't think so. That's just some basic math. You don't have to be an Asian to figure that stuff out. That is a disaster. That is a total wash. But no, wait, there's more. You got Elemental. And that's the only one that you can waffle and go, well, actually, it might have turned a profit. But when it had a $200 million budget, and if you guys remember at the time when this thing released, it was advertised everywhere. And I understand that that's anecdotal, so you can just go ahead and throw on top of that $150 million. Let's just go $100 million. $100 million when it comes to marketing. Still, so normal math on that would end up being two times your production and marketing budget in order to turn a profit, and $486 million doesn't quite wash with $500 million. No, of course not. So even still, even if you wanted to be hyper conservative about its marketing budget, $500 million, it didn't reach it. It lost at least $14 million. And you also know with the international box office, you can say that they'll get between 35 and 40% of that box office total back to the studio. So yeah, didn't make it. Got close. Didn't make it at all. And one thing that everybody forgot came out. Okay, like this slotted in between Indiana Jones and Elemental, I think. Or, no, I'm sorry, this came out right after Indiana Jones. It made nothing. At least, hey, props to you. At least you're getting half of the return on that $67 million because, well, it did diddly with a side of squat internationally, and it only cost $157 million. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, wait, there's more. I think we know all about this disaster right here, okay? So depending on which site you're using, Box Office Mojo has it with a worldwide box office of $205 million. Whatever, you have the numbers over here barely having it creep over $200 million. Really doesn't much matter, man, to offset the reported, even though we know that it's higher than that. That was just the last number that was recorded in September of 2022. Still had a vociferous number of reshoots to still do. So yeah, it's north of $300 million. It makes $200 million. I've documented this extensively on the channel. Several other people have as well. This cost the studio not quite as much as Indiana Jones, but getting awfully close. $400 million. Yeah, it's in that club. And then the final, the anniversary special, if you will, Wish. It's practically done at the box office as well. I think over Christmas it made $1 million, which is shocking. Shocking to say the least. It's not going to get 100. It's not going to get 100 internationally. It's not going to get any higher at the domestic box office. It's basically going to be ushered out of the cinema at the end of the year, costing the studio $200 million production budget, $100 million. Go ahead, run it back. It didn't even make half. It didn't make half of what it needed to in order to break even. Another $200+ million flop. Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, Ant-Man and the Wasp, The Marvels, and then something with that's four. That's four right there. Four. You've got two nominal losses in Little Mermaid and Elemental. Call that between what, $50 and $100 million each, okay, depending on your accounting, okay? So what do you had? You had a cool billion right there. Then you can go ahead and just skim a little bit off the top with Guardians. Maybe it broke even. Maybe it made $40, $50 million. There's a reason. There's a reason that every single outlet feels emboldened to finally call out the nonsense of Disney. 2023 marked Disney's 100th anniversary of making movie magic. And now they performed a disappearing act on the audience. It also marked a disastrous year at the box office. Out of 8 major theatrical releases from Disney this year, 7 of them significantly underperformed with audiences, not just in the United States, but overseas as well. One of the most popular film franchises of the 21st century. No, categorically, like by the numbers itself, okay? Maybe for individual eyeballs, taking a look at the individual number of tickets sold, there you could have yourself a conversation, but in actuality, it is the most financially lucrative franchise in Hollywood history, and it died this year, catastrophically so. Ever since 2008's Iron Man, back when it was under the Paramount umbrella. Oh, humbler, better written times. Disney's catalog of superheroes and the stars that play them drove tens of millions of Americans into theaters. Now that I'm thinking about it, outside of Avengers 2012, I don't think I ever seen a Marvel film in the cinema. Yeah, I don't think so. I've seen all of Phase 1. Seen up to Iron Man 3 in Phase 2, and then that just made me stop with movies because it was just so atrocious. But that's not to discount its popularity. It's just I've kind of seen the writing on the wall for a long time. The first was in February with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, despite an all-star cast including Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer, Bill Murray for a second, but he had a much more expanded role, which was, hacked to bits. Whatever. The $200 million priced film, a little bit north of that, I'm sure we're going to find next year. Next year is going to be very interesting when it comes to tax filings, because a lot of this stuff was done in the UK, and well, on and around April, we're going to be getting some very fun filings to figure out how much this stuff actually cost. Earned only $215 million domestically and $476 million worldwide. $215 million domestically. How many kids from the Mickey Mouse Club do you think that Disney would sacrifice in order to get back to that domestic haul? Holy man, that seems like eons ago at this point, but that was only February. Holy. Far short of the $600 million it needed to break even on its theatrical run. That's less than $519 million worldwide earnings for the first Ant-Man and the $623 million for the second installment in 2018, not adjusted for inflation. No, we're not inflating any of these numbers. We want to worry about inflation, we just, don't worry about it. 2019 predecessor Captain Marvel starring Brie Larson. Now we talking the Marvels, baby. Opened domestically north of $153 million and went on to earn $427 million and a whopping $1.1 billion worldwide. And I'm sure none of those numbers were, what's the way that they like to refer to that stuff? All right, fortified. Now, the Marvels, however, opened to $46 million. I'm sorry, what? No, are you missing? Nope, it's $46 million and may not even reach $100 million domestically. Oh no, it won't. We got the numbers. And it's not coming close. Its total gross was so far less than $90 million domestically and roughly $200 million worldwide, making it the lowest grossing Marvel film ever. You don't even need to adjust for inflation. The low water mark was 2008's Incredible Hulk, and brother, that doubled what the Marvels did in certain aspects, given its reported $274 million budget. Huge loss. Disney's only sweet spot of all of 2023. It was the May release of Guardians of the Galaxy, starring Chris Pratt, stupid Batista. Who else is in there? Right, the voice of Bradley Cooper. But it's a well-established team-up, okay? Also helmed by a guy who's going off to lead the competition, but Disney doesn't want to mention that, which earned a sizable $359 million domestically and a strong, $845 million worldwide, making it the fourth highest grossing film of 2023 and definitely recouping its budget of $250 million. Well, tough to say. Really tough to say, because again, those tax filings are going to talk a little bit louder, and the fact that it made a bunch of its money internationally, it still turned a profit. It definitely did, but you don't spend $200-300 million in order to make 100 at best. But it still made money. I will give you that one. But yeah, Harrison already knew. He knew. Why would you come back? You were already too old a decade ago, but here we are, bruh. Moviegoers showed signs of being tired of recycled material from Hollywood. Disney had a lot riding on its live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, starring Halle Bailey and her beautiful Z-Snap, released in May. It earned a respectable $297 million domestically, but greatly fell below expectations internationally, earning just $267 million overseas. Yeah, because you can pander as much as you want to a bunch of woke white women. Oh, I'm sorry, you want representation on the screen. To a bunch of single mothers out there, but they aren't going to take their kids to a 2.5-hour kids movie. They're not going to do it. Film had a $250 million budget, so guess what? The math ain't mathin' on that one. Compare that to the 20. But don't worry, guys, it streamed extremely well. It was one of the best performing shows that came out on streaming on Disney Plus. What does that do? You don't license it. You don't do anything with it. You get it with a subscription. Like, come on. Compare that to a 2019 live-action release of The Lion King, which is terrible, which grossed a whopping $1.6 billion worldwide. Yeah, that was the worst thing that could happen for Disney and for audiences as well. More than $1 billion of that came from overseas, and the remake had a $260 million budget. So yeah, When you're spending that much money, but you get the return of $1 billion movie, you're fine spending that much money because you're actually getting a return on it. Disney learned the wrong lessons from their success. Oh, the more money you throw at something, the higher the returns are going to be. No, that's just simply not the case. Next month, Disney released Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and everybody, that was the first one on the list where everybody knew that's not going to be good. You kind of thought. People were still kind of thinking, it's like, can they go ahead and sneak Little Mermaid across the finish line? And then when it came out and it just did not have success at all, it didn't have the legs that eventually Ariel would end up getting. It's like, wow, that was a failure. But everybody knew Dial of Destiny was going to be a travesty. And guess what? It was. It grossed just $174 million domestically. An Indiana Jones movie makes $174 million, less than $400 million worldwide, making it impossible for the studio to recoup its budget of nearly $300 million. Doesn't include the extensive marketing costs. And yeah, that one specifically I'm going to be interested in when it comes to tax filings. Meanwhile, 2008's Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, widely regarded as a turd, which was widely regarded as the worst Indiana Jones film in the franchise, until made over $300 million domestically, $800 million worldwide, with a $185 million budget. Disney closed out the summer with this reboot of Haunted Mansion. Yeah, I already talked about that one. Starred Rosario Dawson, Owen Wilson, Danny DeVito, Tiffany Haddish, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Jared Leto. I heard nothing about that film. That's crazy. That's a very star-studded cast, and it made what was that again? $114 million. It made nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then, of course, oh my God, Disney's bread and butter, but we've already gone over that extensively, and I will here in the coming days. But summed up, yeah, okay. I would say a big reason that Wish flopped, other than the fact that it was like, what is this even about? A black girl and a goat? Whatever, okay. Was that Disney had already sullied its reputation with an entire year of disasters. It had already ruined its reputation by fighting these never-ending legal battles all over the right to proselytize sexual choices to your children. Nobody wanted to go see your film because you showed a track record, and people are smart enough to pick up on patterns. You had a pattern, you had a track record, you had a history of failure in 2023, capped off with what was supposed to be your big anniversary film, failing spectacularly. Everything that you touched turned to lead on your platinum anniversary. Platinum or diamond, it depends on what you're looking up, okay? Nobody ever hits 100 or anything like that, but Disney, big celebration, triple digits. And if you're not looking to right the wrongs of 2023, those triple digits in regards to the years that you've been operational are going to be kicking down swiftly to months, then weeks, then days, then hours, and then minutes. So right the ship or you'll go the way of MGM, RKO, other great former studios. For as much crap as I talk about Disney and so many other people, there's a reason that we do. It's because Disney films used to be associated with greatness, and now, well, they're just associated with unintentional comedy. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.